When I was really young, I noticed that when peers would cry and get really emotional, I just had that innate nature to want to comfort them. I just was very nurturing. So I saw psychology and I looked more into it, and ever since then, that was what I really wanted to do. I always worked for indigenous communities because I'm indigenous. I lived on the reservation my whole life. There's just this really huge challenge of balancing between my indigenous life and who I am, and then using the Western approach. How do I keep the authenticity of our roots and our culture? And that was something I kind of had to learn on my own. With indigenous communities, there isn't too much structure. If you have that connection, you're able to use that. It feels like a dance with clients. My main approach or modality is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is more of a trauma-focused approach. I like to connect the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors, and really allowing somebody to see what is a pattern. And so when that's happening, it's like, well, let's look from a different perspective. Then they're empowered to be able to make that change. The pandemic really forced us to learn telehealth, something that we never really heard of before. On top of that, I had clients who got really emotional because we couldn't be together. And when we came back, how do we reconnect and relearning all of that? Something that I'm seeing in the community that is similar to out there is this stagnant behavior that we're seeing with our youth. When they had to go back into the schools, we saw a high intensity of anger, of lack of motivation, just low, flat affect of just not wanting to be there. And across the board, I've even seen that with adults. Sometimes you just see people can't handle social situations anymore because they haven't been used to it in such a long time. And so I'm seeing that here on the reservation a lot, is how do we get out of this funk? Because across the board, there's still a lot of people who are feeling a lot of depression or setbacks, and just getting up and going to get their services. The expectation of 8 to 5 isn't always possible for families. Their life starts after work or school. And when we're shutting down, they're not getting the help that they need. And then asking a therapist to stay very long is also emotional fatigue as well, and exhausting. I think my profession is always going to be like a mirror. I have to be aware of myself. I have to be aware of my triggers. I have to constantly be checking myself because that's what I'm kind of supporting them in. It's shaped how I'm compassionate, how I think what love is and healing is. So how to be human with someone else in their journey. I'm noticing of a lot of people who are wanting to be more aware and heal on the reservation, especially historical trauma. It's impactful. It's hard though. It's not always fun and easy. I'm fortunate and grateful enough that if you want a Native therapist, you got one. I'm here. We don't always have that option as well. There's not a lot of people of color of different backgrounds who are therapists, but they're coming.